Alright folks, so I'm in my Visual Basic 6, about to go ahead and start a new project. Standard executable. I just click new, file, new, standard executable, click OK. I'm not going to go ahead and go into the deep details and Visual Basic syntax, etc. For these purposes, please watch my Visual Basic 6 complete video tutorials. This is going to be part of it, but this is going to be a little bit advanced from the syntax. I'm assuming that you already know the syntax and basics of the Visual Basic 6. Keep in mind, as again, this video tutorial will work for any languages that are capable of programming for Windows operating system, such as C++, C#, Visual Basic 6, Visual Basic.NET, Delphi, Dark Basic, Real Basic, etc. Okay, here's my basic form. I'm going to start, and this is how my application will look like. Well, let me go ahead and add a label, text box. It's going to display our XML, and the first button that I'm going to call nothing for now. I will show you why. So basically I decided to go ahead and give you a tutorial of basic project XML Manager, but we will discuss not only XML idea and solution with MSXML6.dll, but I will show you how to, using the XML language and XML data, read the XML file and have some settings for your applications, so you will learn from the project. I think learning from the project is better than just and see the visual what is going on than just and explaining to you what is going to happen, where you can use it. You can use it for your application to store some values from your application, such as in this case graphic user interface. We're going to store in an XML file, and I'm going to call it and update my application with its values from the XML data, from the XML file. Okay, so create a text box, label, and a button. I'm going to go ahead and click on button, but before that I need to double make sure that I included the MSXML6.dll into my project. How to do so? First, you need to download MSXML6.msi setup package from Microsoft and install it. If you don't have it and you cannot find it, Google for it. If you still cannot find it, over my YouTube channel where you're watching this video, or if you're not watching it from the YouTube, over my youtube.com/MoroseAcademy channel, you will have ability to download the MSXML6.dll libraries and references for this video tutorial in a link below in the video description. Okay, so what we're gonna do, first we need to make sure we added our references. So basically we add this DLL, and I'm going to go ahead and click in Visual Basic project references, and then I'm going to go ahead browse, and I'm going to go ahead and select the DLL. And the DLL will be in my reference library, same as where I'm having my project. I'm going to click on it and select it, and it will add it, Microsoft XML version 6.0. I'm going to click OK, and now we have the references of our MSXML6.dll, so we can work with this. We can call it and work with that DLL library. So the next, I'm going to click somewhere in the form, and just skip it, and I'm going to create the first variable. Let me go ahead and I'm going to comment every single line so you will know what is going on. declare variable to store and work with XML data. To open, store and work with XML data. I'm going to go ahead and click dim, and variable, let's call it XML Manager. You can call it the way you want it, doesn't matter, as. And now DOM document. DOM document is a class that part of the MSXML 6.dll. So to be able to select this, you need to make sure that your references, or if you're using some other languages, that you import it or open it, the MSXML 6.dll. Okay, here we go. I just declare it. Nice. Next. So what is the XML Manager? XML Manager is a DOM document, and if you don't know what is DOM document, basically it's like a container, like an object that is going to store our data somewhere in the memory, and we can call it and work with it, and we can read it, and we can store some more data inside of that container. And this container or object or DOM document will be our XML Manager. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click Command 1 button, and over here I need to write logic that will execute when user will click on Command 1 button. And I'm going to say why I didn't name the Command 1 button right now, why I didn't rename it, because I don't want to rename it. We will go ahead and call its real name from the XML file. That's why I kept the Command 1, because it will be automatically renamed when we will click on it, so I can demonstrate you what we will do and what we will accomplish in real world scenario. So I'm going to click and say perform logic to read XML file and read XML data. And I'm going to say initialize XML Manager. So over here we just declare it, and here I'm going to initialize XML Manager variable, and I'm going to say set, which is going to set manager, so it's going to refresh it in our memory and allocate some space in the memory for this DOM document. So now we can work with that. Okay, next line I'm going to say I'm going to say that XML Manager logic to load XML file XML Manager dot async equal false. So what this will do, it will make sure that XML data is loaded from the XML file fully, completely at one, like very quick, but at the moment, fully and completely. Then I'm going to say XML Manager dot load, and now you can see, which basically tells me that I need to specify the source code with the link, basically the path where is our XML file is. I already know my XML file will be in application path where I'm having my project in the same folder. But you can load it from wherever you want. Make sure you have no mistake. So I'm going to say okay, and it's going to be, what's the name of it? Simple XML document. Simple XML document dot XML. Okay, and I'm going to say display in text1 dot text, display the document XML Manager dot, and now I'm going to select the method which will be XML. So basically this method is responsible to load all the XML data, in particular in this moment from the XML Manager, which will be the whole data from the file loaded into the XML Manager, and then we want to load that data into the text1.text text box. Let's go ahead and have a look. I'm going to go ahead and save it, and let's run the application, and when we're going to click command 1 button, it should load our XML data. Okay, there is an error. Okay, I need to say new DOM document. So it's completely fresh, and it's loaded. As you can see, it's loaded the same XML data as we have in Notepad, only it's not sorted and organized the way it's in the Notepad. Okay, let me go ahead and real quick say multi-line through over here. So it's going to, in the text box, so in the text box I set multi-line through, so it's going to load it nicely like so. Okay, nice, not in one line but in multi-lines. Okay, here's our XML document. So you just learned how to load the XML document from a XML file, and how to transfer the XML data into the text box. Okay, now let's go ahead and learn how to basically, let me run it, get just the application name and basically set it. So let's go ahead and set it for the, instead of form 1, we're going to set the application name node value simple XML Manager by Alexander Morose into our form caption mode. So it's going to be in our form title, in our window title. Windows called forms in Visual Basic. So if I'm going to say forms for the beginners, it is a Windows or window. Okay, so we would like to load simple XML Manager by Alexander Morose value from the application name node into the title of our form 1 window and change it. How to do so? So basically in this little video tutorial, you will also learn how to access the data from the particular data from the XML file or from the XML data particular node and its values. So I'm going to say, when we're going to click, first let's say it like so. Let's make it complex, a little bit complex. I'm going to say if we'll load it our XML, then perform the logic. It's okay, don't worry about this error. It's error of the syntax because I didn't finish the logic. So I'm going to click OK on this one, then, and I need to write, go to where, load the logics and work with XML data. And here I'm going to say else print an error, display an error in message box. And I'm going to say message box cannot load the XML file, please make sure that it exists and without any XML syntax errors in XML file. So if we cannot load the XML file, print an error. And then I'm going to go ahead and click end if, so it's not going to be in red anymore, so error will disappear. So I finished the whole end, the whole if deal. Okay, it just doesn't like the, it's fine, it should be like so. Tell us. So I just said that if the XML manager loads successfully the XML file into its container, inside of the XML manager, into the memory, then we're going to perform some logic with XML. Else, display us an error, cannot load the XML file. So we will learn and know where the error is, so we don't have to think a lot what is going on. Is it error with our syntax, or is it error with XML files? That we're trying to learn the load. Okay, so let me go ahead and the next line I'm going to go ahead and say that me, which is our form or our window, caption, which is the name, the title, and I'm going to say XML Manager dot select node, because single node, I would like to select the single node, and I'm going to say in parentheses, I'm going to say it should be as a string the name of the node. If you will put the parentheses, you will see it will tell us put query string as the XML DOM node. So it should be the node that we should type in, and I would like to go ahead and select, let me see the XML file again, the application name node, this guy. I'm going to just go ahead, Ctrl C, and copy it and put it in. Then I need to put dot and say text, because I want to just load the values of that node, which is going to be just this simple XML Manager by Alexander Morose. However, if I want to load the whole XML with node, values, and closing node, application name, then I need to, instead of text, I need to put the .xml method. But I'm going to put text for this thing. Let's go ahead and see what we have. And you gotta put it in semicolons, like so. Double quotes, I mean, sorry, in double quotes. And let me go ahead and click button, command. Here we go. We loaded our XML, and also you see that simple XML Manager by Alexander Morose is changed. So our title of our window is changed because we loaded from the XML file from the application node, and the value is simple XML Manager by Alexander Morose. So it's changed. Okay, let's do it again, because we said so. And we're gonna click command 1 button, see it's form 1 right now. We're clicking it, and it's now simple XML Manager by Alexander Morose. Okay, so if we will specify instead of text but just dot and XML method, let's see what will happen. Command button. Okay, it's loaded the whole node XML data with its value over here. So it's loaded the whole node, then it's loaded the value and closing node. So the whole node XML data. Okay, so you will know. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click text and click it again, so it's loaded. Let's go ahead and real quick specify the rest. The label one dot caption, so I would like to load it from the XML as well. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this line. It's fine, that's an error because I didn't say what it's equal to. It's syntax error, but I will do it in a second. XML Manager, and I'm going to type XML Manager, and what is label one. Okay, and over here it's going to be tricky because, as you can see, label 1 is inside of the visual interface node. It's a subnode of the label 1 is a subnode of the visual interface node, and then in the label 1 we have another subnode which will be text, and it has some value which is XML data. So this value we will load, and of this subchild inside of the subchild text, inside of the label we will load the value of XML data. How to do so? Okay, so what we're gonna do, and also you will ask me why we need to put those 2 slashes. You want to put the 2 slashes because you don't need to specify the whole path where the XML file is. So it's basically it's going to just go ahead and grab it itself, the first one in XML file. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and grab the first one, and if you have a multiple, and instead of select single node, if you will specify select nodes and put it like so, and you have multiple application name, it will grab the first one, then it will grab the second one, the third one, and etc. But about it we're going to talk in the next video tutorial, so where we're going to talk about managing XML data and XML documents. It's going to be the last video tutorial of this video tutorial course. Okay, so I'm going to just put how to do so. Well, how I can do that, basically I can go ahead and jump in and specify that the XML node as IXML DOM node. So basically I'm declaring a variable to load some node XML. Okay, and yeah, XML and its values and subnodes if existed. Okay, so and over here I'm going to basically initialize XML node. So I'm going to say set XML node equal, and I'm just going to, it's fine, it's syntax error. I'm just going to copy this line and copy and paste it. Instead of application name I will say label 1, and let me debug print and show you what I'm talking about. Print this value, what we're setting in XML node, so you will know what is going on. I'm gonna click command button and okay, I cannot set an XML node which is our XML DOM document, DOM node, I cannot set as a text. I need to set the whole thing, like the node, because it's going to just grab the node. So basically, what is the XML DOM node? It's a class that is inside and part of the MSXML6.dll, which is like an object, which is basically as a node. You can load node, you can create with this class a node, and etc. So basically it's was made or was designed in purpose to working with nodes in XML data. Also, there is a similar guy over here. Instead of XML DOM node, if you will say as XML DOM element, like so, this is just the same, almost the same as the DOM node, but there is only a few differences between of it, and I will talk to you about the differences between XML DOM element and XML DOM node in a video tutorial, in this video course, when we're going to talk how to create from the scratch XML data. We'll dedicate more time to it, but for now I would like to specify as XML DOM node. But in this case you can do either way. I just like DOM node better. DOM node, okay. As again, this is as part of DOM document and part of the MSXML 6.dll. So I'm talking about the XML DOM node. Okay, so if I'm gonna click on button over here, you will see that I'm loading as a text 0000 and then XML data. And if I will open our, not even open our, it's already open over here, you will see I'm loading this is my debugger, and I said debug print, so this is what we have right here. So this is going to be this data right here. I'm just loading the values from the font color node, loading its values, and then from the text node I'm loading its values as well, XML data. Okay, why? Because I specify that I want to see just the text here in my debug over here, debug print. So that's what you just saw. But if I don't want to see the text, if I want to see the XML, and in our case we want to see what we're setting for the XML node, what kind of information, let's just go ahead and put the .xml, so we're gonna see. And I'm gonna click command 1, and here we go. Basically we're putting there the XML data right here. Don't worry about this guy right here, because this was from the previous load, this was from the previous load, and this is what we have right now. Okay, so just like that. Let me go ahead and maybe debug. It's fine. So here we go. What if you will tell me if we just don't want to have that XML or that text, just the whole XML node? Well, it will generate an error. Why? Because debug print doesn't support to load the objects. It supports only a string, so text or XML. So we load it as again, clicking on button, and you see we're loading the XML data into that node, into the XML node, the whole XML data from our label 1. So we're loading its subchild nodes and values, everything what we have. Now after we load it, I want to say that label one.caption equal, and then XML node, which is this guy right here, then dot select single node, because I just want a single node, and we're grabbing this text node, and I would like to have the XML data value of that node. So here we go. I'm going to say open up, and in the string gotta specify the node name, and I'm going to say text and close the parentheses. Let's have a look. And dot text, I need to say text because I want to pull the value of the text node, and the value will be XML data. So that's why I need to put dot here. Let's remove the debug over here, so it's not gonna be in our way. So dot text method. Okay, if I wanna select the XML and pull the XML, then I need to set the XML. So it's gonna bring the whole XML, but let's put the text. Let me show you what we have. Click command, see the label 1 saying label 1. We need to click command 1 button and it will change. Boom, like so. Now it's saying XML data, which is reading from text node from over here and reading its value of that node, which is XML data. Okay, so basically you just learned how to read the values from the XML data and set it to the text box, label, whatever you name it. Okay, from the nodes, from the sub nodes, from the subchild nodes, from the inside of the other nodes, and whatever. You just learn it. Let me go ahead and set the text color, but before it, let me show you what is the dot, instead of dot text, what is dot XML means. Basically, like I told you, it will load over here the whole XML data of that node, and it did. Of the text node, the whole XML data, which is its node, text, closing and open, and then values XML data. That's what it did. Okay, let's go ahead and dot text. And now real quick, I'm going to say that label 1, not the caption, but for color, which is text color, will be equal font color. We're going to call this font color sub node, which is inside of the label 1 node, and label 1 node is inside of the visual interface root node. So we're gonna call call the font color node, and inside of that node we're going to call the value, which is 6 zeros, and instead of 6 zeros, let me call instead of 6 zeros, let me real quick and call the red color, and let's see what is the red will be. I don't remember, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that and set it to black. Back again, and here I'm just going to copy this data just to show us. I'm going to click save and go ahead and load it, and you will see something as well. Some people already probably saw this. Cannot load the XML file. Please make sure that it exists without any XML syntax error in XML file. See, this is our first of all, this is our if method over here, so it's not true because when it's loading it cannot load it, so it's just bring it to the else and bring our message. This is why it's good to say if when you're loading the XML. Okay, so it didn't load it and file is exist, I know so, but the other thing, it's an error, and the error is over here. We cannot put those in our XML syntax, we cannot put those symbols. Okay, we need to use the C data for the symbols, and how to use the C data you will learn in a create XML data from scratch in next video. But for these purposes I will go ahead and remove this real quick, so you know that your XML file cannot have the symbols like so, like so, and etc. Okay, if you would like to or like so, if you would like to put those symbols, or like so, or like so, if you would like to put those symbols, you need to make sure that you have the C data. And how to do the C data I will teach you in the next video, which will be create XML data from scratch. We're going to talk more about it. So for now I'm just going to go ahead and set it like so, and over here I'm just going to say that, you know, go ahead and do that. In a string, I'm just going to pass it as a string in this case, just to see that it's going to change the color from black to red over here on our label 1. And again debug, and doesn't like something, color is 0, because and it's loaded as you can see, but it didn't change the color. Bring it to the error, let's see the error again, type mismatch. Okay, we just probably need this guy right here. Let's see how it's going to. Nope. Let me see how the color, the whole deal look like. Okay, add. So basically we gotta put the double add symbol here and double. So in Visual Basic we have to do so, and it should be just fine. Let me start over and debug, type mismatch. Okay, it's not the text, we gotta do it in the color, so I need to say font color here, because we don't have we use the text node, which just doesn't have it, doesn't have those values. It has only XML data value, but we need to grab the font color, and we need to grab it values of the H50C0. So now it will go ahead and do that, and let's use single add symbol. Let's have a look. Type mismatch. Okay, what is going on? What's going on? 1 second. Let me see what is going on. Alright, here I think here we go. So basically we then need to specify this in the end for Visual Basic for the colors. We then need to add when we're specifying the color. So it should do it. Yep, and it's set it in red. Okay, here we go. So during this video tutorial you just learned how to open the XML file in Visual Basic 6 or in any Windows programming environment, and how to read its XML data, and how to read particular XML nodes and particular XML nodes values, and how to read XML subchild nodes and its values. So basically you're right now, by watching this video tutorial, at this moment you already know how to read the XML data completely, and working with that XML data for your own purposes. Thank you so much for watching. Please thumbs up for this video tutorial. It might be split into multiple parts. Go ahead and watch them all, and let's go ahead and keep moving to the next video tutorial where we will discuss on creating XML data from scratch and save it as XML file. I will see ya.